Joe Biden apparently his feelings were so hurt by Kamala Harris going at him during that debate. You know, when she went at him for being a racist and palling around with Strom Thurmond in the 1970s, trying to put forth legislation to stop busing from happening. It was a good attack by Harris. Unfortunately, she didn't do anything after that for her. So Biden, because his ego and is so frail, had to write down do not hold grudges. So the Associated Press got a sneak peek of Biden's notes that he had to himself yesterday before his speech. So the notes, which were photographed at a speech in Wilmington, Delaware, featured Harris's name, followed by 5 talking points. Do not hold grudges. She campaigned with me and Jill. Talented. Great help to the campaign and great respect for her. The Biden campaign didn't go any further. The prominence of Harris on Biden's notes follows a political story in which former Senator Chris Dodd of Connecticut, a member of Biden's team vetting potential vice presidential picks, is reported as being critical of her. Oh, because we should listen to Chris Dodd, who's a sexual harasser and bought-off scumbag. But then Politico accidentally published a report. All the outlets, they pre-write the stories, so they have a story written for every potential woman that will be chosen as vice president, so that they could then just insert the name and publish as soon as it's announced. But they accidentally published a story that Kamala Harris had been named as vice president. They even had a quote. In there attributed to Biden, who said Biden called Harris a worthy opponent and a worthy running mate. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting because, why would Joe Biden, who honestly, he definitely needs notes so he doesn't have a cognitive meltdown, that's for sure. But why would Joe Biden have at the top of his notes, don't hold a grudge against Harris, team player, very talented? Seems to me he might be expecting questions on the vice presidency. And, he's banking on Kamala Harris being the one he's asked about. Or he was going to say something during that press conference about Kamala Harris, either referencing some of the bills she's been proposing. She has proposed more than legal assistance for those getting evicted lately. And then if he brought her up in the press conference, which I don't believe he did, if he was asked by reporters whether she was a top contender, he could reference his notes. But the bottom line is, we don't know for sure, but between having notes written down for you, where that's like the first few things on your note card about Kamala Harris, and then Politico accidentally publishing this and attributing a quote to Biden, which to me means possibly Biden's campaign has leaked to select outlets who he's going to pick. They would put it under an embargo, is what they call it. So we're giving you the news, but you can't publish it until this date and this time. Outlets tend to disregard the embargo towards the end of that embargoed time. But to me, it's going to be Kamala. It's going to be Kamala Harris. Because why not? It makes perfect sense if you're Joe Biden. It makes perfect sense. He is Kamala Harris. And you have to remember, Joe Biden has been very open. He's basically said, I'm only going to serve one term. I'm just a bridge. I'm a bridge to the next Wall Street bought-off neoliberal hack. So you really have to assume if he's picking Harris, she's going to be the golden child. She is the DNC approved, Obama approved, Clinton wing approved successor to basically Obama and Biden for 2024, possibly earlier if Biden doesn't finish. As this is coming out, as Biden basically gave away the game, apparently Some of his allies are now running a shadow campaign to stop Kamala from becoming vice president. A group of Biden allies, including a few of his top donors, initiated a campaign against Harris a month ago, just weeks before a decision was expected. The concern focused on her attacks on Biden during a primary debate last year, bringing into question her loyalty to the former vice president. Some also argue that she's too ambitious and that she would be solely focused on eventually becoming president. So, first of all, I hate to say this because I would never, honestly, it would be very, very hard for me to think of something good to say about Kamala Harris. But that is extremely sexist. You got these Wall Street donors, older, white dudes, who are way, way out of touch, probably have a bit of a Gordon Gekko, Jordan Belfort, if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street mentality when it comes to women. You think they'd be saying that about a possible man? You think they'd be saying that about Cory Booker, who threw some arrows at Joe Biden during the debates, if Biden was going to pick Cory Booker? No. They're saying, we're a little perturbed that this woman here had the audacity to debate Biden during the primary. Tell you the truth, I wish Bernie Sanders would have went as hard as Kamala Harris did in that moment. And I'm not a Kamala Harris fan, but she did. She did Biden nasty in that debate moment, and it was a good shot that she took at Biden. Unfortunately, she doesn't have any political skills, so she wasn't able to capitalize on it. But for Biden's donors to be, this campaign against Harris because she had the temerity to debate and to challenge him, it's sexist. I'm just going to say that. But putting that aside, they're afraid that she's going to be angling for president as soon as she becomes vice president. The disgruntled group of at least a dozen Biden backers, including a few of his top donors, initiated the move against Harris close to a month ago, just weeks before a decision is expected, according to people with direct knowledge of the matter. Many who spoke to CNBC declined to be named about these efforts. In some cases, her foes have taken their concerns directly to members of Biden's VP search committee, led by former Senator Chris Dodd, a very, very well-known scumbag. He has sexually harassed women, very, very bought off by Wall Street. Now he is a lobbyist for Hollywood. Mayor Eric Garcetti, if you live in Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti is essentially the Rahm Emanuel of Los Angeles, and I don't know the other two, who previously served as counsel to the presumptive Democratic nominee. Although none of these actions signify that Biden will drop Harris from the list, the movement gives a glimpse into the effort being waged to derail her candidacy. Some remain bitter about her attacks on Biden during primary debates last year, saying they bring into question her loyalty to the former vice president. Others argue that she's too ambitious and that she would be solely focused on becoming president herself. Many of these Biden associates have been pushing alternatives to Harris, such as Val Demings, Karen Bass, Susan Rice, and Senator Tammy Duckworth. Well, again, I'm no fan of Kamala Harris, and I'm about to show you a Hall of Fame. If you've never seen some of these clips, I'm about to take you down memory lane. But honestly, I think we would want somebody ambitious thinking about becoming president, because they might have to step in as president sooner than later. Have you paid attention to Joe Biden in the last year? I know the corporate media has been covering up for him, as he calls himself an Obama Democrat, as he forgets President Obama's name on multiple occasions. It's not a stutter, folks. He didn't stutter as vice president. He didn't stutter as a senator. As he completely loses his train of thought throughout speeches, throughout debates, as he preemptively cuts himself off from speaking during debates. You're probably going to need more than a doormat as vice president, because it's not very clear whether Joe's going to be awake past 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I don't say this as an ageist. I don't say this to mock the man. Frankly, I thought his family, top Democrats, Obama should have yanked him out of there months ago. He's not well. I'm not going to place a label on it because I'm not a doctor, but he's clearly not cognitively sharp. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.